boy. It's been an interesting couple of hours. We have tried to do everything we possibly could to get on here today. Apparently this topic goes a little too deep. They don't want us getting on. I'm telling you, I have a time. You have no idea. You have no idea. My life should be a book. Well, welcome to the late version of Delora Off the Cuff. If it's your first time here, I'm usually very punctual to the second. So I'm sorry. I just look at my hair. I just like, I got connected and jumped on and threw some lipstick on. That was it. It was the most important thing. All right, guys, it's I'd buy that book. Well, we have a book. We actually have a book. It's almost like me talking to you. Thanks. Thank you, Donna. That's so sweet. Anyway, let me just make a couple of announcements, and I'm gonna get this party started because this is late. I'm not sure how many people are going to jump on. I'm so sorry again. It was really beyond our control. We tried. I thought we were going to try to use a hotspot and then it wouldn't connect, and it was crazy. So, but I'm here. But if I jump off Powerhouse lipstick today, that's how I feel. Powerhouse, yes, Tadpole. If I get thrown off, I don't know what to do. I got everything loaded now, and everything will just praying and believing. Anyway, just so you guys know, we are out of town. That's why this one was so important. We're out of town. Oh, it's crazy. Hold on. I gotta. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Renee, I'm on. Yep. We're out of town, and I don't have any way of doing podcasts or even the church service or anything. We're just in the middle of a lot of different things, and just keep us and our families in prayer. And I know at the other side of this things will be great, but between that and Lori, last night was Holy Ghost power. It was, and every time stuff like that happens, and I move in stuff like that, this is what happens to me. This is what I get. But I don't care. I told Dennis, I don't care if it was midnight. I was coming on. So I guess he realized I was serious. Anyway, so I will not be back on, nor Dennis, no shows until the middle of next week. Okay, guys, just so you're aware. I know, Jen will probably send some things out. I may send out, hi, how are you? If you're not already connected with me, go to thegatheringmovement.org and just sign up to get on the list. So just so you're aware, you know me, I don't like missing shows. I don't like, but it's needed. It's needed. This has to happen. Okay. Now, real quick, you guys know we do The Gathering. If you don't know, when you go to thegatheringmovement.org, read about my husband and I, and you'll get a little idea of who we are. And we've done 11 gatherings in the last 2.5 years. We've done one online. We got another one coming up online. And then hopefully by the fall, we're believing we will be able to go back to Chicago, which we missed. And then we're looking at Missouri. And then we're looking at Houston. Got somebody that is connected us with a part of our community with Houston. And then we're hoping to hit Arizona. So we got a lot of them planned. It's just we have to, but, unfortunately, I can't ask people, can we pay you in prayer? So this is what happens. We need to raise money. So one of our, obviously, donations we take, and blessed, even the widow's mite we're blessed to get. But we have fundraisers, and one of the ones we do is called joyandcountry.com. Dennis and my daughter Jenna put that up right at the first one because we didn't have any money to do the first one. We had put our charge cards to the hilt, and she said, I got an idea. And that's what happened. So This, a lot of different clothes, a lot of great t-shirts, a lot of great patriot t-shirts, Christian t-shirts, but this is called casual chic rib top. Now, this is definitely a me top because it's crooked. See how it's got crooked seams? And I love that. I love that. It's very cool. It's got the blue's got black in it. It's just very cool top, very stretchy, just a great, great top, drop shoulder. That's called casual chic rib top. Also, look what's back in stock. Our Psalm 91 is back in stock. Again, we only have so many of these, guys. If you want it, you want to get gifts. I don't know how long we're going to be able to get these from this lady. I really don't. If there's somebody that you want to buy a Christmas gift for, I'd like to do it now ahead of time, especially since what I tell you, this is what Jenna told me. She said, hold on. We are, for the whole week, because I'm not going to be on, but to give you guys something, it's going to be a Memorial Day week sale from today until a week from today, up to 20% off of everything on the site, plus US free shipping. Plus, if you've never bought anything, Welcome 10 is a code you can use. So you can get all kinds of stuff from this week. So maybe, you guys are going to say, go away more often. No, I know you're going to say that. But anyway, go help us out. Go over. Go get this necklace. You're absolutely going to love it. I live in it. I got a gold one and a silver one. I just about live in this. Anyway, it's on right now, this sale for 1 week. All right. So let me do a little disclaimer about this, okay? Just so you're aware. What I'm going to share with you today is, as Dennis calls it, it's fringe. God, I look like I've been through a war. My hair's not even brushed. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I did this. This is a little fringe. I don't do fringe though without having a foundation of reality and a base of reality that I could verify. Thank you. Thank you, guys. So it's not for those, this video, if you're watching, you might want to get off because it's not for those who accept the world as they see it. Okay. It's not for you. It's for those that are critical thinkers who allow reality, real reality that they're seeing with their eyes and questioning that reality. We've been taught for our entire lives certain things, and we're slowly discovering that many of the conspiracy theories of 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years ago are actually reality. And many of the films we see are actually documentaries. So we're going to go on a bit of a journey today. It's based on facts, some facts. It's based on verifications. Yes, Dana, based on common sense. And my husband always says I should have been an attorney. I have one of those minds that grabs stuff from everywhere and then puts it together and draws a conclusion that's kind of hard to disprove, but you're very welcome to disprove it if you want. This channel, you can disagree with me. I don't throw you off. You can agree with me and be a B, if you know what I'm saying, and be a miserable, nasty. I don't care if you agree with me. We'll throw you off. That's what'll get you thrown off. Not that you disagree with me. I love disagreement. It gets me thinking. I don't have all the answers. I'm not God. Nobody does. So I get aggravated when people get thrown off of places because you question them. At the end, there will be questions. Okay? All right, let's get going. Since the 70s, the CIA has been working with people on what they call remote viewing. Okay? Many of you know what this is. It's a type of traveling to a place other than where you are physically, maybe a different time, maybe the future, the past. I'm very skeptical of remote viewing. Although, understand now, before we found God, and I can say this, and I'm sure Dennis won't mind if I do. So this is why I'm speaking about remote viewing, because I'm skeptical. I shouldn't say I'm skeptical of remote viewing. I'm skeptical of people who say, I'm a remote viewer and I saw this, and then it doesn't happen. So I get, that's just, that's called a grifter. So anyway, Dennis, BC, okay, I turned over in bed. This is, God, decades and decades ago now. We weren't married too long. Turned over in bed, and he looked like he was like dead, and I was very scared. And I pushed him, and he's not getting up. So finally, I was like, Dennis. And then he opened his eyes, and I said to him, what? I couldn't get you up. And what he was in the middle of was astral projecting. So he was on the ceiling looking down at his own body. He astral projected. Okay. And when I was trying to wake him up, he was up here. And then when I finally went, Dennis, he got pulled back into his body. Okay. So this stuff is real. Okay. There's a lot of real stuff. Not that we should dabble. No. You're dabbling with things that you are not equipped to dabble with. Okay. And I'm not equipped. We're not equipped. Okay. It's a realm that you're tapping, that because we are not full spirit, it's hard to deal with it. Okay. All right. So let me just hold on. Yes. All right. Sorry, guys. I just have to take care of something. Let me tell you what happened. Remote viewing was used by the CIA, actually a kind of hypnosis. Okay. Because the CIA worked with this, and there was subjects that were, oh no, I just realized something, guys, hang on. Oh man. See, this is what happens. Okay. I'm going to have to do it this way. Wow. Really upset. You're not going to be able to watch. You're not going to be able to see it. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm going to read some stuff to you, and you're not going to be able to follow along. It's very important. I wanted you to. But the CIA and the DIA, which is the Defense Intelligence Agency, began to investigate the potential for psychic ability to be used for military. I'm sorry, guys. I am really discombobulated. Hang on, please. Okay. And so what they did is they did a test, and they would have subjects, okay, that were part of an experiment. And during this experiment, they would tell them where they wanted them to go. And one of the experiments, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Lieutenant Frederick Holmes Atwater oversaw a project with Major General Albert Stubblebine. Now, before I read anything to you, I want you to hear that. These are military people, Lieutenant Frederick Holmes Atwater and Major General Albert Stubblebine. Now, you got to hear this, and I'm going to tell you why. These are intelligence people. There are military intelligence people. Some think that if you have, you're called major, you're called major general, you're called lieutenant, or one of those names in front of you, that you're one of the good guys. That is not necessarily true. It's very important for you to know that. Anyway, these two worked together with about 20 different people that they believed had psychic ability. Stargate That's what it was called. I know there was a show called Stargate, but this Stargate was apparently terminated and declassified in 1995 after a CIA report said it was no longer useful for intelligence. That is not true. Okay, I'll tell you what happened to it, but I've got to read. I got to read this to you. This is so upsetting because I wanted you to see it. It's so important. Guys, I'm going to have you give me a minute, please. Just like if you're on here and you're not in chat, I know this is going to be a bore for you. But I've got to find something that's very, very important. I've got to have you do this. Wow. Hang on. Oh my God. Is that it? It is. All right, guys. Hold on a second. Hold on. Hang on. Very important here. I got to get that. I got to get that over here. How do I do that? How do I get that? Hang on. Okay, I got that. Let's see if it comes up. It did. All right, let's do this. Wow, this is really hairy here. Let me see if I can share that. Okay. Can you guys see that? Can you see that? Yes or no? Yes, no. Can you hold on? Now you can see it, correct? I'm correct. All right. So let me see if this works. If I move that up. Yeah, it's working. Okay. Here we go. It says this is CIA, approved for release the year 2000, Mars exploration, May 22nd, 1984. Okay, this is about Mars. The method of acquisition, they're talking about the planet Mars, time of interest approximately. They're looking to get this person who said was a remote viewer back 1 million BC. Okay, this is what they're looking for. All right, the transcript, you see it. The monitor and the subject. So they say, all right, now using the information in the envelope I provided you, which was Mars, 1 million BC, focus on this degrees north, this degrees west. The subject, I want to say it looks like, I don't know, sort of like an oblique kind of pyramid or some kind of form. All right. It's yellowish, ochre colored. All right. Move in time to the time indicated in the envelope. Subject, I'm tracking severe clouds. I'm going to go a little bit quicker here now. Okay. Now he says, now I'm going to read. Now let's go to this place. 4645. He's on Mars. He says he's on Mars. Okay. 1 million BC. That's where he's remote viewing. Go to this, 4645 north, 35322 east. Now, if you put these in Google Maps, it will say it'll bring you to Mars, okay? But you won't see Mars. It just says Mars. And then this comes up. So he says, the subject says, I'm deep inside a cavern, more like a canyon. I'm getting close to very large structures. Do the structures have insides and outsides? Yes, they're very like corners of room. They're really huge. Okay, now move to this. He gives them a new set. Okay, they have appears to be a large road. He's now 1 million BC. He's remote viewing Mars 1 million BC. Okay, let's go to a different place. Move from the point you are now to this time, 34.6 north, 213.09 east. Okay. The subject, the cluster of squares up and down. It's like you want to make them square. They're almost flush with the ground. It's like they're connected. Something very white or reflects. The monitor, what's your position or observation? It's, I don't know, oblique left angle. The sun is weird. Look back at the ground now. I want you to go to 34.57 north, 212 east. Okay, it's like I can just perceive like a radiating pattern. Tell me about the shapes. They're like neat channels cut very deep in the road. Okay, now let's go to, so interesting. Hold on. Now let's go to 80 degrees south. 64 degrees east. The subject, I see pyramids. Can't tell if it's overlay or because they're different. Okay, do these pyramids have insides and outsides? Got both, and they're huge. Okay, let me tell you where 80 degrees south and 64 degrees east is. That is the 80th parallel south line of latitude, the only one that passes through Antarctica and the Antarctic ice shelves. The 64th meridian east is a line of longitude that extends from the North Pole across the Arctic Ocean, Europe, Asia, and the Indian Ocean. Okay, now listen, I'm going to keep reading. Now we're in Antarctica. He's remote viewing. Subject, do these pyramids, monitor, do these pyramids have insides and outsides? Subject, got both, and they're huge. It's an interesting perception I'm getting. Monitor, I think he's losing his ability to move accurately because he's attracted to things that are interesting. Subject, it's filtered from storms or something. Say that again, subject. They're like shelters from storms. These structures you're seeing, yes, they're designed for that. Different chambers, but they're almost stripped. Furnishings, it's like, structural, functional place for sleeping or hibernations. Tell me about the ones who sleep through the storms. Very tall again, very tall, large people, but they're thin. They look thin because of their height, and they dress like it's like a real light silk, but it's not flowing type of clothing. It's like cut to fit. Move close to one of them and ask them to tell you about themselves. Subject, they're ancient people. They're dying. It's past their time or age. Monitor, tell me about this. They're very philosophic about it. They're looking for a way to survive, and they just can't. Can't seem to get their way out. They can't seem to find their way out. So they're hanging on while they look or wait for something to return or an answer. What are they waiting for? A group or a party of them that went to find a new place to live. It's like they're getting all kinds of overwhelming input of the corruption of their environment. It's failing very rapidly, and this group went somewhere like a long way to another place, an atmospheric disturbance. Okay, let's go down. Subject, all I get is that they must just wait. They don't know who I am. They think I'm a hallucination or something. Monitor, okay, when the others left, these people are waiting. When the others left, how did they go? Subject, get an impression of, don't know what the hell it is. It looks like the inside of a larger boat. Very rounded walls, shiny metal. Monitor, go along with them on their journey and find out where it is. Subject, impression of a really crazy place with volcanoes and gas pockets and strange planets. Very volatile place. It's very much like going from the frying pan into the fire. Difference is there seems to be a lot of vegetation where the other place did not have it, and different kind of storm. Monitor, all right, it's time to come back to the sound of my voice, the 22nd of May, 1984. Okay, so let me tell you what that is, okay? This is a CIA remote viewing in 1984, May 22nd, that the CIA released. You guys have to watch from the beginning. You can't pick this up in the middle. I'm sorry. Can't pick this up in the middle, guys. This is something you need to watch step by step. That's why it was very important I find that. What happened is they have a subject. They had 20 subjects that had psychic ability, remote viewers. And what they did is they went back, they brought them back to 1,000,000 BC, they said. I don't believe time went there. What happened was he went back as far as he could go back, is what happened. And they ended up moving him. They said they were on Mars. I believe they probably were on Mars. And this is what I'm going to show you now in a minute. Okay. They brought him then, and you will see if you take all of the locations, north and east, north and west, wherever it is that I gave you, you'll find that the last one was 80 degrees south, 64 degrees east. That was Antarctica, okay? The 80th parallel. So how did all this from the CIA end up in Antarctica, and the remote viewer says he was on Mars, and how did all this get together, okay? That's what this is about. Very connected. There's a group of books. I know many of you know this group of books from Claudio Nicelli, who speaks of lands and how through William Morris, an explorer, who they've tried to cover up online. It's very interesting. You have to really go to the dark web, and don't do it. I'm warning you, don't do it. Okay. But to find William Morris as an explorer, that you can't hardly find him now. They've got a poet named William Morris that covers it all up. You'd have to go to like page 1,000 on Brave, or I mean, it's unreal what they've done to this. But William Morris was a colleague of Richard Byrd, who got me going down this hole. Okay, this isn't a rabbit hole. This is a hole with a bottom that is never ending. This is one of those pieces of information that will bring you on a journey, that if this is only your beginning of even contemplating this, again, I'm a critical thinker. I put all these pieces together, and that's why I come up with a hypothesis or a declaration of sorts that I believe is true. So one of the books from Claudio Nicelli is named The Land of Mars. Okay. Now, it's not, you got to understand, Claudio Nicelli is Spanish, and he doesn't speak any English, and he's got people translating. The books are really difficult to read. The run-on sentences for a grammar wacko like I am, it drove me crazy. But what he did was he put these together because in 2016, interestingly enough, when Mr. T got in office, all of this stuff started being released to him through friends, through William Morris's daughter that was actually born in the unknown lands. We're really the unknown lands to them. Those are the known lands. But he said pretty much the planets that we are speaking of are in outer space, but it's not there. That there's no outer about up there. The outer is out there, way beyond the lands that we know to be part of our world. So why did I ever believe that this could be true? This is the man that did this to me about 15 years ago. I play it all the time, and it's one of the best pieces of video. And I had the whole thing, and I saved it, and then they pulled it off everywhere, and I didn't have the ability to download it, his diary and everything. But I'm going to play this for you. You've seen it, but this is why this is so important.
I must say that Admiral Byrd, our guest tonight, is not only our greatest living explorer, but he's been an inspiration to countless Americans. Admiral Byrd, you've been to both the North Pole and the South Pole. Is there any unexplored land left on this earth that might appeal to adventurous young Americans?
Yes, there is. And not up around the North Pole, because it's getting crowded up there now, because they find out it's really usable, not only to live in, but militarily. But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole on the other side of the South Pole from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored.
That's a tremendous
So
challenge.
there's a lot of adventure left down at the bottom of the world.
Yeah, I find that very interesting. So there is a land mass, okay, the size of the United States. And so you know, it wasn't within a year and Admiral Byrd was found dead in his home. He wasn't even supposed to reveal that, and he did. And then he wrote a diary. Now, so you understand, people say, oh, Admiral Byrd's diary is fake. I heard Admiral Byrd. I saw him on video speak the diary. I saw it, my own eyes. And I've looked everywhere. I know it's somewhere. I know someone has to have it. But I saw it, and basically his diary was pretty much revealed everything. But it's been online for many years. It's harder to find now, obviously. They don't want you to find it. But in 1947, when he wrote this, he wrote it at a base camp in the Arctic. And he wrote it before his death. Obviously, he couldn't write it after his death. But what I meant by that is before his son, he got it to his son before his death. And his son, Richard Byrd Jr., published it. Now, remember, there wasn't any Antarctic treaty then, so he could go wherever he wanted. William Morris could go wherever he wanted. There are many people, I'll mention a couple of others, that they could go. There wasn't, if I wanted to hire and pay someone, a navigator, to go to Antarctica, because I wanted to explore right now, without the Antarctica Treaty, I could go. That's the way it was before 1959 and the Antarctic Treaty. And I'm going to explain that to you and then explain how Mars gets into this. He says he went to a land beyond the poles. He says it right here. He says it in the video, that there is a landmass the size of the United States, not on the globe, not on even you're a flat earther. It's not on a flat earth map. It's not on any map I know of. It's not on anything I've ever seen. But there's a landmass the size of the United States. And he didn't say it was the only one. He said there's plenty. And if you heard, and you never watched my North Pole video, did you hear where he said it's kind of crowded up there now? You look on our maps and on today's globe, there's only water on the North Pole. A couple little piece of land here, piece of land there. So how people living up there? What about that, Byrd? You kidding me? It's getting crowded. And then there's the landmass. Why doesn't any glober that believes in the globe tell me where that landmass is? I just want to know. That's all. Nobody can answer me that question. But he opened one area of his diary by saying this. Very interesting. There comes a time when the rationality of men must fade into insignificance, and one must accept the inevitability of the truth. See, as Admiral Byrd began his journey, and as soon as he got over the ice wall, he saw a green valley below, and it shocked him. His navigation instruments started spinning. I can see the video right now of him talking about this. It was terrifying for him. He said they continued several more miles. They were ready to turn around and go back. But suddenly, like a tracker beam, locked into them and pulled them down to the ground. According to his diary, he met one of the leaders. Now, apparently, where he was pulled down to was called Aerie, Aerie. Okay. If you have any of these books, you can look it up, or you can look it up online. You can look. TikTok's got a ton of stuff about this, and TikTok hopefully won't get shut down like they want it to, and they're trying to stop this now. So, what happened was, he was brought down by a tracker beam, and he said in the video that what he saw were these very tall, let's go back to the Mars exploration, okay? Very tall. He was in the area of Mars, and Aerie is right next to Mars. And they were very tall and very thin, and he said they were very blonde and almost like an albino skin. And isn't that interesting that the madman in Germany of World War II called what he felt his whole nation should be Aryans? Isn't that interesting? I find that much more than a coincidence that that's what these people look like. Now, according to his diary, he met one of the leaders of the land, and he sat with him and called where he lived the surface world. All right. He also introduced Admiral Byrd and his associate as human beings from the known lands. Okay. He said that he was summoned. Why? Admiral Byrd said, "Why have I been summoned here?" He said, because humans, this is the leader now at Aerie, right next to Mars, that you have the people and leaders since after the last war now have the ability to wipe themselves off of the earth and destroy their whole world. And they said, we sent messages to the leaders of the world that are close by here. Apparently it was Chile and Argentina. Okay. Now I'll explain to you why that makes sense. But they didn't heed the warning. And the response was this from the leader: "Your race has now reached the point of no return, for there are among you those who would destroy your very world rather than relinquish their power as they know it." This is 1950s, guys. Okay. Sounds like today. Byrd told him he would relay his message, and perhaps the people of the UK and the United States would heed the warning. Now, that was in 1947. Apparently, Byrd got back late 1948, 1949. In 1949, Argentina, Chile, and the United Kingdom signed was called tripartite naval declaration, saying they would never send warships south of the 80th parallel. The two countries closest to Antarctica is Argentina and Chile. Byrd's last trip was 1955 and 1956. He was found murdered in 1957. His son took all of his research and diary. 1 year later, the Antarctic Treaty was formed. No one can do anything in Antarctica, not even fly over. It's prohibited airspace. The first countries that were part of it. Very interesting now. Got to put all this together. Argentina, bottom. Australia. Belgium's the one I don't get, but you never know. Belgium, Chile, low. France, Japan, New Zealand, Norway, South Africa, United Kingdom, United States, and the Soviet Union. They were the first 12 countries to sign the Antarctic Treaty on December 1st, 1959, in Washington, D.C. Okay, so for the skeptics, you have to at least ask yourself this. There's nothing to hide. Why is anyone forbidden? You can't go. You can't go. You will literally get shot. You can't go there. You can't fly over. They'll take your plane down. You can't even go anywhere near it. So what does that have to do with the CIA and Mars? When I began this, I read the coordinates that corresponded with Antarctica. That's where the subject ended up going, Antarctica. And the moderator led him there because I believe the Mars that have the coordinates that they were talking about is the Mars that are in the unknown lands through what is now called the Byrd Strait, through the ice wall. That's where the subject ended up going. It's called Mars. So is Mars one of the lands Admiral Byrd saw on the other side of the ice wall? Is that why a former CIA operative who now plays a truther, and you will all know who he is, said that Mars, 4 years ago, he said this. I heard it with my own ears, and Dennis did too, and we've talked about it ever since then, said that someone said to him, what about, we're going to Mars? And he started laughing. And he said, Mars has been inhabited for hundreds of years. So why would it be called the Red Planet? According to Morris, the way to Mars is a one-way trip for humans because of the past of Martians. No, not little spacemen with the things sticking up, take me to your leader. No, nothing about that. Talk about brainwashing. The original Martian race apparently were annihilated when colonizers were allowed into their world. The Anunnaki, the lands, this is what they're called, close to them were kind of like parasites, and they were the first intruders. If you ask me, it's probably them and another couple of different races that were probably a lot people are seeing. They're eyewitnesses of tall people, all this stuff. They have infiltrated our world, and they probably did because maybe something is happening to theirs. I don't know. I think they also made a pact with people in leaders in our world. Now, I know I sound like a crazy person. I get it. To some of you, this is like, whoop, this is way out there. But did you ever think in 2020 we would end up walking around like this? Lockdown? Did you ever think that would happen? Did you ever think half of what you're seeing now would have ever happened? No. Admiral Byrd said it on NBC in the 50s. There are lands, a lot of land yet to explore. So, according to William Morris, the explorer, the Martians were a peaceful people, so peaceful that they didn't even have any weapons to defend themselves. So, needless to say, they were completely wiped out. And only now are Martians that left that land and are going back there trying to colonize and start their race again. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, there's someone else called Roald Amundsen. Yes, you can actually read about his explorations to Antarctica. Not sure how long they'll be there, but this is him. Okay, this is from Wikipedia. You can actually. He was a lifelong bachelor. Now listen to this. Though he had a long-time relationship with the Norwegian-born blah blah blah, the wife of blah blah blah. He met her in London in 1907. They remained close for years, although Amundsen kept the relationship a secret from everyone outside of his intimate circle. Later, he became engaged, Though there was little evidence, it was said that Amundsen had a brief affair with his landlady until he came home and found her dead of apparent suicide. So right there, my antenna go up. Yeah, my antenna. It was said that Amundsen, His biographer, Tor Bowman Larson, also suggests a romantic relationship between Amundsen, Sigrid Kassberg, wife of the lawyer Leif Kassberg. In the years before the South Pole expedition, a relationship Amundsen broke off after the expedition in favor of Kiss Bennett. Here it is. Author Julius Sancton noted that in his younger years, Amundsen was said to have ignored romantic relationships in pursuit of his goals. He found little use in activities that didn't help him fulfill his polar ambitions. Now, why is that so interesting? Well, if you read everybody else all over, of Benjamin Franklin, Abraham Lincoln, Richard Byrd, all these people, this man doesn't have a date of death. You can look anywhere. He went through Byrd's Strait. He came a bit after Admiral Byrd. They had a difficult time getting through Byrd's Strait. It's like taking your life in your hands. He said in his memoirs, Roald, you can find them, we sighted the land of Area and are nearing descent. We apparently have not been detected yet. Because what happens is once you're detected, according to 4 or 5, a half a dozen explorers, they pull you in and they then want to know who you are because they do not want humans there. Although right near Mars, there is an area called the human colony. Now, let's really get out there, okay? You notice that there's a lot of people that aren't around anymore. It's actually said by many people, if you start listening to videos and you really go down this hole, that they believe some of the leaders that were going to have to be, like this, went there instead. And they were told, one-way ticket. There is a human colony there, but they were spotted. Okay, Captain Roald's was spotted, and he lost communication from that point to his base, so they no longer could write his memoirs of what he was saying. They were attacked, and 4 people were killed, including Captain Roald. Is that why they don't have his death anywhere online? Because he was killed there. He wasn't killed here. They don't know when he was killed. But what is he, 150 years old? No mention of his death. So here is, this is something even more incredible. Before he died, he went into a base of the human colony and was able to talk to several members there. Roald said, for security reasons, he could not say who that was, but he was a very known person in our world. He said there was great technology there and decisions were made here, meaning there, to continue experiments such as the Philadelphia experiment. Now, the Philadelphia experiment is on. You can go read it for yourself. I told you, I back stuff up with facts. History.navy.mil, which stands for military. Okay? I'm not going to read all of this. I'm not going to read it. But basically, what it is that, here, let me just read a little bit. Allegedly in the fall of let me put myself up there so you can see me. Allegedly in the fall of 1943, a U.S. Navy destroyer was made invisible and teleported from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania to North Fork, Virginia. 1943, 1943. Records in the Archives branch of the Naval History and Heritage Command have been repeatedly searched, but no documents have been located which confirm the event or any interest by the Navy in attempting such an achievement. The ship involved in the experiment was supposedly the USS Eldridge. The archives has viewed the deck log and war diary from Eldridge's commissioning in August 27th, 1943 at the New York Navy Yard through December 1943. Now you can keep reading. There is a copy of Eldridge's complete World War II action report. You can go to that. You can read civilians gave eyewitness testimony, even people that were on the ship. Some of them actually, when they came back, what is really mind-blowing. And again, you can find that and read the whole thing yourself, and then go look for people that actually made videos about this. When they got the ship back, okay, and they looked on the ship, there were men that were literally had their arms stuck and their legs and part of their body into the metal part of the ship. So, for example, one hand was like this. You saw their hand. Then there was the ship covering all of this. Then half their body was melted into then their feet were sticking out, but the rest of their leg was inside the metal. That's what happened because they transported. Some of them were missing. Some of them were fine. Some of them lost lost memories, and a lot happened. And I'm gonna end with this, and then I'm gonna go to because I know you guys are gonna have a lot of questions. I don't know if I can answer all of them. I'm gonna try. This is a fascinating subject. This is what I'm gonna tell you, okay? Do not find one person and believe all of what he has to say. I would not believe Claudio Nicelli if I did not corroborate that with tons of other evidence that absolutely is indisputable of what went on, what has happened to these people. How come they never died? And they said they died on the other. Look, there's all kinds of stuff. Now, there's one little thing. I just want to end with this, which is really fascinating. The Greek poet Homer, okay? He's known for writing the Iliad, the Odyssey. Read those. Read those poems now. Was he a nonfiction writer? And they put him into a poet, a fictional poet? In the Odyssey, it says he traveled through an opening that was narrowing as they passed through it. Byrd Strait, Barrington Strait. It's called Barrington too. But Barrington, the explorer Barrington. Oh my goodness. I don't even have the book. Yeah, I can't even remember. I can't remember his first name. His last name was Barrington. They call it the Barrington Strait as well. Is that where he went in? The Odyssey traveled through that. So much in the Odyssey rings true. After reading it again, I was just told about it. It's fascinating. Read it with the perspective that I gave you here. All right, that's it, guys. That's all I got. Now, I don't know why I could not get on. I'm shocked I made it through the whole thing. I don't know why I couldn't get on, but I'll tell you something. Every time I tend to hit Antarctica, I have all kinds of stuff. They're going to bury this video. I know they're going to bury it. And it just, this is what happens to me. So if you have any questions, put 3 question marks and then the question. And if I can answer it, I will. If I can't answer it, I will say, I don't know. I understand. I've been questioning this stuff for at least 20 years. So Gulliver Travels. Yep. All these things, there's so much that, if he knew this, he said he passed through the Bering Strait. My dad was in the Navy and he did sail on ships. Or if he knew this, he said he did pass through the Bering Strait. He might have, if he, Bonnie, if he did know it, he never would be able to tell you. Never. People that are doing these things don't, they play for real. They play for keeps. So they don't want this out. They really don't, because if people start getting wind of this, if you, Queen Esther, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now I'll tell you why it is. Remote viewing. When you, Dennis will probably give me, remote viewing is not prophecy. Okay, I know I was going to end up going down this road. Let me do one at a time. Okay. When the Bible says not to dabble in this, because it's not what we're able to control. When Dennis did astral projection, it is a known fact that people astral project. They do it. I saw my own husband. He did it. He'll tell you himself. But the problem is that there's a way that if you go too far, or if someone is trying to astral project where you are and you cross cords, you literally can both die on the spot. Thank you. It's a form of witchcraft. It's how people who want to be higher than God, that is what they use. So remote viewing is not something they use, and not anything I would ever talk about, just like I wouldn't talk about psychics and mediums, because I did that stuff. We were involved in that. When I said to you I was involved, I was involved. I know. The enemy knows I know him. He does not like me. It's like Mr. T. He was them. He knows them intimately. He frightens them. He terrorizes them. I've been there. I understand it. It's nothing you want to play with, and it's not for anyone to do. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm missing people. Yes, Admiral Byrd's son was also killed, Terry, up above his luminaries. I believe one is fake now. Was Admiral Byrd a Christian? Yes, he was, but he was also an FM. And that's why they killed him when he did what they told him not to do. Luminaries, Admiral San. Okay. I'm just answering the things. Do you know Nazca Fund? And he is also same, Forever Young. Same person. His name is, his last name, where is that book? It is Claudio Nocelli. Yeah, Nazca Fund. Same thing. Queen Esther. Thank you. I know that's why you did. I know what you were doing, and I appreciate it. Because people probably would think differently of me that if I didn't clear that up. So I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. Okay. Do you think we will ever know this truth? I absolutely do, Bonnie. I think this truth is very close. I think it's very close. Close, am I saying a month? No. Years. I'm hoping in my lifetime. See, here's the thing. My parents lived to be well into their 90s. My parents ate very well, and they lived a very clean life as far as their lives. That is very young. 90s is very young. The people that are on that side in the unknown lands are living twice and three times our age. That because of what we have to deal with. No, I don't know. Vicky, I don't know. Hold on to put that up in case people want to check him out. Pascal Nahadi, neutral Swiss. I will absolutely check him out. Vicky, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, that Betty, that's Helen. I believe her name was Helen. Yeah, apparently if you start reading and you start connecting all these dots, Betty, you're going to find that all the books relate to each other. All of the diaries, all of the hidden works, they all relate to each other and they all prove each other out. And I found it fascinating that I did all this research. Look, I'm a knowledge junkie. It's who I am. So if you're that, you'll enjoy it. If not, you may not. But yeah, this stuff is so close to the surface. I can feel it bubbling. That's this stuff. But the problem is that what can I say? The problem is more than anything is our education system. See, many years ago, when I was younger and I was going to college, it was Berkeley was the biggest proponent of being able to think freely. Berkeley College. Now there's no more free thinking. So what we have to get past is the God of education. And I find the more degrees behind someone's name, even in Christianity, I get scared when I say, master of this, doctorate of that, this theologian of this, and I get scared. It frightens me because what that means is they've got so much knowledge and knowledge puffs up. They've got so much that they can no longer hear God. They know. If you go around Facebook and the people who have 45,000 degrees and they're theologians, they're lofty. I go with their bow ties, they're lofty. And every word has got 85 letters in it. And, and Jesus sat with common people and just spoke little stories. I don't get it. I'll never get it. Dennis and I marched to a different drummer. The person playing the drum happens to be Master Jesus. And so I believe wholeheartedly that education is probably the biggest issue because you can't even, someone who even just graduated from college, you could never say, hey, have you ever thought that maybe the shape of the earth is not round? What are you, an idiot? What are you kidding me? What are you a wacko? That's what they say. So no one says anything. And it's sad. It's sad because we've got to get past that in order to be able to hear the truth that God is trying to speak to his people. You have to have an ear to hear. If you don't hear, that's it. Okay, I'm probably missing. Am I missing questions or no? Will the gathering meeting be streamed online? Yes, the next one will. Terry, absolutely. Terry Board's Exciting Adventures. I love that name. Yeah, it will. We'll be doing the online gathering again, probably within about a month or so. Would you consider talking about Africa one day, why it was divided the way it was? Marie Louise, Africa, and now and the whole world. Why were they divided like they were? Look what's going on right now. You know, I don't know if the IRAN president was actually, or if it's made up, or if they're setting up, or, you know, I don't, or if Netan did it. Actually, there is so much happening right now that is just, it's all of it is for a purpose. It's for a purpose. You never heard me say, enjoy the show. You never did. It's never come out of my mouth. I don't like it. I don't like the show. But I'll tell you something. I believe it's a show happening right now. I really do. I'm not enjoying it, but it's a show. Okay, couple more and that's it. Old-time country spirit-filled Christians that live where nothing seem to have a lot more miracles. Amen. Bless you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Necessary scare events shake off the arrogance of the indoctrinated. Yeah, absolutely, QFA. Absolutely. I agree with that. There's a reason. Have you heard about gang stalking being used on some? Yeah, I have. I don't want to go down that road because I have a feeling I'll get nailed for it. So there's certain things I've learned. Okay. All right. I guess that's it. Look, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I will do more of these as God and my research ability broadens. I'm going to go into more of the lands there. I've got to find other things, and where they are, I don't really want to go to. But so let me make another announcement. It's really, 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 really important. I will not be doing Fab OTCs this week, Solomon's Porch, OTC Monday, possibly Wednesday, possibly, not definitely, possibly, definitely back for next Friday. If just pray, and we'll hopefully be back. So I don't write or say, "Are you okay?" You and I love that, but you know, well, no, Randall, that's really not true. I was going to get off, but you got me. You can think what you want, absolutely, and I will fight for you to be able to think what you want, but the Bible doesn't say that. So if you're concerned about the Bible, which that's what I'm concerned about, that's not what the Bible says. Go look up Pastor Dean Odle, Odle, and watch his stuff. He lays it out right from the Word of God. I'll miss all of you as well, but please do me a favor. Please. Don't forget about Joy and Country this week. You know, we've got stuff we got to do. And so if you can go over there, these are all back in stock, gold and silver. That's Psalm 91, little Psalm 91, the jewel in the angel's wing. It's 30 inches. It goes right over your head. So go maybe get early Christmas presents, birthday gifts, whatever, before they're sold out again. And then people write to us, when are you getting them back in? So also this is casual chic rib top, really beautiful. Go very long, covers everything, and go and look. It's in the description down below, and it's on joyandcountry.com in Delora's closet. Remember, Memorial Day weekend sale, up to 20% off the entire site. Always free shipping. So no matter what this is, no matter what it costs, you're not paying another dime for it. So, and if it's the first time you buy anything on top of all that, put in the code WELCOME10. WELCOME10. Don't forget that. And you can get another discount. Okay, Delora, I'm sorry. I know I missed questions. But I know it was a little bit crazy at the beginning. But I hope you got the gist of it. Forgive me. I was so flustered and trying to get on for 2 hours that I got a little verklempt. Okay. So I love you all. I'm going to miss you all. I'm going to try to post things like on my, if you want to follow me on my social media, I'll say hi. If Dennis and I are off by ourselves, I may jump on like Telegram or something and say hi. So just, keep posted and keep my family in prayer and traveling mercies for us. And we're all good. Love you all. But remember, all week, especially because I can't remind you, go in the power of God. Ciao. Love you all dearly. Bye. Have a great day.